here from Pink and Maine. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to be making some cards with our pretty Peony stamp set and coordinating die. Let's jump right in and start making our first card. I'm using a top folding A2 size white card base. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when folded. And I've cut out a black scallop rectangle with our scallop rectangle die and a layering piece with our stitched rectangle die set 2. That will fit perfectly on the scallop rectangle. And I'm using some beautiful pattern papers from our Best Friends paper pad. I'm going to adhere these layers down to our card base. Here's our card base so far. I don't know about you, but I love a gorgeous plaid. And I'm loving this one with the pink, the gray, little bit of green and light blue with the pop of black back there. I think it looks great with this black scallop showing around the edges. I've cut out with our scallop circle dies, a scallop circle along with a stitch circle that'll fit right within there. I used a gray polka dot from the paper pad. This bright pink glitter paper is part of one of our glitter paper packs. They are so gorgeous and sparkly. The glitter does not flake off and it die cuts beautifully. When adhering anything to glitter, something like a glitter paper that has a little bit of texture to it, you want to use a good strong adhesive. So I want this scallop circle to go off the edge of my card. I don't want it centered. I like things to go off to the side, over the edge. So I'm gonna trim a little bit of that. You can always use your paper trimmer if you're worried about getting a nice straight cut. I'm just going to use my scissors and just carefully cut across. Now I'm gonna adhere this to the card. Now I've got the beautiful Peony from the stamp set that I've colored with my Copic markers and die cut with the coordinating die, and I'm going to glue it down where it just sits inside that circle. That gives a nice highlight spot for the flower, and it kind of anchors it to the card so it's not just floating on my card. The Pretty Peony stamp set has some great sentiments, and they are in blocks. I've given you the dies to cut out all the sentiments perfectly, as you can see here. I just wanted that to overlap the stem on the flower a little bit. Here is our card so far. I think I just want to add a little bit of embellishments. Here I've got our essential pearls. So we have ivory white, light and dark gray, black, and then some multicolors. I'm going to use some of the darker gray pearls. There's our card with those beautiful finishing touches with those pearls. They have a beautiful iridescent shine to them. I think it's lovely. For our next card, I'm using a black A2 size card base. It's top folding. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when folded. And on the inside, I've just glued down a layering piece from white cardstock so that I have a place to stamp or write a message when I'm ready to send this card. For the front of the card, I've got a white piece of cardstock and a geometric pattern from our Best Friends paper pack, and I've cut them out with our layered rectangle dies. For our other pieces that go on the front of the card, I've cut some strips of paper from black and then a piece to layer behind it, that really pretty pink glitter paper from one of our glitter paper packs, and a strip of the black glitter paper. And I'm going to adhere these together. Before I glue these strips down to the card base, I want to glue down my stitch circle. So I've used our stitch circle dies to cut this circle, and I don't want the entire circle showing on the card. I'm going to put it behind the strips and a little over to the side and just show part of it. So I have a semicircle showing, and that's going to be a nice spotlight area for our flower to sit. So now we see some of the pattern in the background. We have a nice white spot for our flower to sit. If we were to just put this flower against the geometric background, it would just be a little bit too much. It's too busy. So we want to separate them out a little bit. And then we've given some other separators for the card with the strips of glitter paper and the black here. It just combines everything for a nice finished look that's not overly busy. So I've added some foam adhesive to the back of my peony. And I'm just going to put it here. There, so it sits kind of in that semicircle. It comes down onto my strips of paper here, and everything balances out really nicely. I've also stamped and die cut another sentiment from the stamp set. This is "I miss you dearly." And I think I'm going to actually put it up here at the top, going over that semicircle just a little bit. And there we have our card, but it wouldn't be finished without a little bit of embellishment, right? This time I'm going to use some of our glitter enamel dots. We have these in a multitude of colors, and they're all gorgeous, very sparkly. They add just the right touch of sparkle to your project. I think those finish off the card nicely. And here's our beautiful peony card. I love the look of this geometric pattern with the soft floral. It just gives a really nice look. It's very modern and chic, I would say. Our last card is going to be another A2 top folding card. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 white cardstock. We're going to be using more plaid, but this time we are using some plaid dies. These are our plaid cover dies, panel A and panel B. And I've cut panel A from our gorgeous glitter paper. This is that bright pink glitter paper. And panel B, I've cut from our holographic cardstock. We have 2 packs of holographic cardstock, and it's all super shiny and holographic. What more can you say? It's gorgeous. So we're going to layer those together. And of course, you can layer the plaids together, or you can just use them separately. They both make really nice backgrounds for the cards. I've cut a piece of black cardstock, the size of my card, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and we're going to cover the front of our card with it. Now we're going to glue down our plaid cover die panels, and we're going to use our Easy Squeeze craft glue by Pink and Main, and it's the perfect glue for gluing these smaller areas. It's easy to squeeze bottle, and you can get just a little bit to come out. You squeeze a little harder, you get more, so you can get just the right amount for what you're doing. See, that looks gorgeous just on its own, but we're going to add that other plaid layer. That's going to look even more colorful and shiny. And isn't that pretty? I want to add our peony to the card, but it doesn't quite look right just placed on the plaid. It needs something behind it. So a nice way to do that when you have a busy background is to cut something out of vellum, just a highlight spot for your character or your flower to sit on against a busier background, but it still allows that background to be seen through it. It just softens it up so that your character can sit there nicely. So I've cut out from our layered oval dies this oval piece of vellum. I want it again to go off the side of the card. So I'm going to cut just a small portion of it away. I put it behind my card here and I have a straight edge to guide me to get a nice straight cut. I don't want to just glue this vellum piece down because, as you know, glues show through vellum. Every single glue I've ever tried shows a little bit. At least I can see it. So we're going to glue the flower to the vellum first. Now with our flower glued to the vellum, I can add glue to the vellum where the flower is and it won't show through on the other side. And there's our card so far. I love that sparkle and shine. I've stamped and cut out another sentiment just for you from the Pretty Peony stamp set. I think I like how it fits right over here with our flower. And I'm gonna leave this card just as is. I think it has enough beautiful sparkle and shine with that holographic paper, the glitter paper behind it. We've got our vellum layer that softens it up and gives a background for our Pretty Peony. And I think it's just gorgeous. Thanks so much again for joining me today. I hope these cards have inspired you to open up your Pretty Peony stamp set and coordinating dies and start creating. You don't have the set? Well, head on over to pinkandmain.com to check it out. And until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.